friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I'm going to be putting together two eye looks with a few palettes out of my collection, but the main palette that I'll be using in both looks is coming from Lethal Cosmetics, which is an indie brand that I just love. I don't have a ton of experience with Lethal Cosmetics. I only have one of their eyeshadow palettes, which is the Evergreen palette, but I did go onto their website, I think in December, when they were having a really good sale. And I thought I'm gonna pick some of their singles out and make my own palette with the singles. And I just really wanted to focus on their shimmer shades because I think they're gorgeous. So this is the little palette that I picked up. And these are the shades that I got to go in the little empty palette. And it's so fun because, you know, they have tons of different varieties of shades that you can choose from. And these are all magnetic, so they just pop right into the little palette here. And I really wanted to get a good mix of colors. You know, I thought that would be really fun, not just stick with, you know, like, I wanted it to be not monochromatic, I guess. And of course I had to get two greens because I love green shades. So for this look today, I think I'm going to be using this shade here called Backdraft and this shade here called Sigil. I thought the two of those would look really pretty together. And then I think I know what I'm going to put together for my second look, but I'm going to keep that a surprise for now. And I do have a few all matte palettes that I'm going to be pulling in to create these looks with as well. For this look, I'm going to be using mattes from the Mel's Memory Bundle from Sydney Grace. My dear friend and soul sister, Michelle, she picked me up the entire bundle, which just blew me away. And I have them stored mattes in this palette and then shimmers in the other palette, or in another empty palette like this. And I think for the mattes I'm going to be using in today's look, or this look right here, I'm going to be using this one here, this one, and that one. And let me take them out and I'll tell you what the shade names are. This shade name is Honeydew, cute. And then this shade is Turtle Bay. And then the dark brown shade is, I used to know what this was. What's it called? Beyond. So cool. Yeah, I thought those shades would look nice together. And I thought about maybe putting in a couple of the peach mattes too, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. So of course, both of my brows are done and this eyelid is primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. It's almost completely gone. I think I have maybe 2 or 3 more looks I can put together with that little tubey, and then it's going to be gone. Alrighty, so I'm going to start off by putting this shade right here called Turtle Bay in my transition area. And I had kind of a weird thing happen to me yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm just going to talk about it because it's my channel. I'm going to talk about it. You know, I have my true crime videos that I try to do once a month. And, you know, I've been doing them now since last February, I think was the first one I did. Wow, that's crazy. It's just time goes by so fast. And, you know, I've missed a couple months and whatever. But for whatever reason, my Randy Woodfield video, the i5 killer video, has gotten a lot of views in comparison to my other videos, other true crime videos, you know, all my videos. It's just getting a lot of views. And you know, great. That's wonderful. If people are interested and want to watch it, that's great. You know, I've never really been hung up on my view count. You know, I mean, yes, I go and see how many views my videos have, but you know, if a video does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, and that's relative to all of us. And I'm not doing content necessarily because I think the whole world is going to come and watch it, because they're not going to. I know that. But, you know, sometimes I just wonder, like, why is one video doing better than another? Whatever. I know I could sit here and get all philosophical about that for 3 days. But yesterday I'm at work and I see that I have a notification on my phone that someone has commented on my Randy Woodfield video. So I go and look at it, and it's this person who is basically telling me that my video is a joke, that the book I read that was written by Anne Rule is a complete joke, and that basically he's innocent. And I don't believe that he's innocent, okay? Like, maybe there are people in the world that believe that Randy Woodfield is innocent, but I don't think that he is. And I do know that Anne Rule has gotten some criticism about her books. I'll be right back. Bitsy's out in the hallway meowing, so I'm gonna go grab her. Can you say hi? Can you say hi, Bitsy Lou? She's like, no, I can't. Okay, you go lay down on the bed over there, sissy girl. Oh, you probably got your hair all over me. Oh well. I just felt bad because she was out in the hallway crying, and I don't like her to be out there crying. Anyway, but the thing is that obviously I read the books, and that's where I get 99.9% of the information that I'm giving you. But I also watch like documentaries. I read a couple other articles. I look on Wikipedia, you know, lots of different things that I will look at when I do a true crime video. And everything that I read and saw all corroborated Ann Rule's book. And one of the documentaries I watched, which I'm pretty sure I linked that in the description box of that video, were the police officers and, you know, eyewitnesses and other folks that had very intimate knowledge of the crimes that he committed. And I realize that not everybody, you know, falls in line with that. And, you know, I know that there are a lot of times that innocent men get accused of crimes they did not commit. And that is horrible. Okay, that is awful. It's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching. It's awful. And I obviously I know that happens, but I don't think that Randy Woodfield was wrongly convicted of those crimes. I don't. And, you know, the sad thing is, the really sad thing here is, and I love that shade, that's gorgeous. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to take this shade here called, what was it called? Honeydew, and put that around the edge of that. There's kind of like, almost like fan clubs that these murderers can have sometimes, which I don't understand that at all. I think that is very sick and twisted, to be honest with you. And I almost felt like this person was like in that arena, you know what I mean? Like this person's gonna be this diehard, you know, supporter and fan of this really sick individual that committed these horrendous crimes. I don't know. I got really bothered by that. I was like, what? Like, just stay off my channel then. If you don't like what I'm talking about and you don't agree with me, just stay off my channel. So I blocked the person. I don't know. And maybe I shouldn't be talking about it right now, but I am, because I just thought, you know, again, like I just said, I know that there are a lot of men, unfortunately, that get accused of doing things they did not do. I mean, I understand that. And there's women that get accused of it too. I know. I mean, I've watched a ton of documentaries about that and read books about that as well. And it's horrible. But I really don't believe that Randy Woodfield is innocent. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm going to move on with my life. I just thought that was really bizarre that this person was kind of like coming after me for doing the video that I did. And I realize that true crime videos can be very polarizing. They can be very upsetting. And I do my best, I really do try to do my best to be very courteous and respectful of the victims and their families. You know, I'm not trying to sensationalize it. What I'm trying to do is just, you know, share with you the true crime case because I find it very interesting. And I'm trying to figure out why people do what they do. And I've never really been able to figure it out. Go back in with this brush. But I'm really not trying to sensationalize it. So, I don't know. And again, I realize that true crime is not everybody's ideal type of content to watch. But again, like I've mentioned so many times on my channel, there's an X on the upper right-hand corner. Click on it. You're out of the video. It's over. So now I definitely want to deepen up the outer V, and I'm going to go into the shade here called, what was it called? Beyond? Yeah. I need to have like big neon flashing signs in here with the names of the shadows on them. Sissy boo, lay down, honey. She's just kind of meandering around the room. Go lay down, baby. She will. I have the window open. She might hop up in the window. She likes to do that and chatter at the birds. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is Shani's most recent Get Ready With Me in the News video. If you guys have not seen that video, I'm going to link it in my description box. I'm also going to put a link to Shani's channel in my description box, Smiley Shani. Shani is one of my dearest, closest, specialist, amazingest friends. I love my Shani boo. Love her. Anyway, I could sit here and talk about that for 3 days too. She did a video, Get Ready With Me in the News, and I'm not going to give it all away because I want you to go and watch the video if you haven't yet already. But she discusses this particular situation where bees have invaded someone's home. And that's all I'm going to say. That's it. You can go watch the video and see. And please go watch it because it's so good and she's so amazing. She's so talented. Oh, not to mention the fact that the look that she creates in that video is bonkers amazing. I mean, it's like, she's so talented. It's just, and she doesn't really, I don't think, grasp how truly talented she really is. We're working on it. Jan and I are working on that with her big time. Anyway, okay. So when I was watching the video though, it reminded me of a situation that I became aware of that happened at my old boss's house. I used to work in the dental field, and I worked for a particular dentist for over 10 years, 12 years, something like that. And so I got to be really close with his wife and his kids. He has 2 kids, they're adults now. One is now a mother, and the other one, I think, is just living his best life. You know, he's having a grand old time in his life. And they live out in kind of a wooded area. It's not really the woods, I wouldn't say, but it's kind of a foresty area, I guess I would call it. I'm gonna go back in just with a little bit of the Turtle Bay shade and blend this out. And this was several years ago, and their daughter was going to medical school, and she had come home to spend a couple weeks in the summer, you know, like kind of break from school, and just obviously wanted to come home and see her folks. So she's sleeping back in her bedroom that was her bedroom like through middle school and high school, her old room. And off and on for a couple of weeks, as she's just hanging out in there, she can hear this weird humming sound. And it kind of sounds like it's coming from above her in the ceiling. But then at other times, it kind of sounds like it's from the wall, or is it coming from outside? She can't figure it out. She has her mom and dad both come in and like, do you guys hear that humming sound? Yeah, kind of. I don't know. What is that? Let's not worry about it. So one night she gets ready for bed and she's laying there just kind of trying to go to sleep. And she feels this substance go bloop on her forehead. And she's like, what the hell was that? So she gets up and goes into the bathroom that's right next to her room, flips the light on, and she's got this big blob of stuff right here on her forehead. It's like dripping down onto her face. So she does this and looks at it, smells it and tastes it, which I don't know that I would have done that. And it's honey. And she's like, what? There's honey on my head. So she goes back out into the bedroom and she turns the light on and she looks up at the ceiling, and lo and behold, there's this big gluey blob of honey coming out of the ceiling, and it's like, now it's all over her bed. And she's like, oh, I know what the humming sound is. There are bees up in the ceiling. So she wakes up her parents, they come in and survey what's going on. They're like, oh boy, we've got bees in the ceiling, which apparently out where they live, that's not uncommon. Like their neighbors had experienced it too, but they just hadn't yet. So the following morning, my old boss's wife, it sounds like a country song, my old boss's wife, she calls her friend who is a beekeeper, and also a couple friends that are like have construction companies, and they come out and they peel back the ceiling, and there are thousands of, I'm gonna clean this brush off just a little bit because I'm gonna blend this a little bit more, thousands of honeybees in the ceiling. Like I think they counted like around 20 to 30,000 bees, which I know that's a big jump, but yeah, somewhere in between there. And I mean, it was just pretty fascinating, actually. She took pictures and showed them to me. Just the construction of the hive that was in the ceiling, the amount of honey that was in the ceiling. I mean, it was kind of a mess, but also kind of cool because you could see, like, I don't know, their little tunnels and this and that and the other thing that they'd all constructed. You know, amazing. Let me go back around with this brush too. I could blend for days. I gotta stop myself or I'll just keep going and going and going. But anyway, they were able to, the beekeeper was able to like smoke the bees out. Totally, they were totally fine. Smoke the bees out, put them in these like containers, and he took them back to his bee farm and like, I guess, assimilated them in with his other bees. And then they were able to salvage some of the honey. And then they had to kind of reconstruct what was going on up there because it was a mess. So now I'm going to go into Backdraft. I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm going to put Sigil right there. And again, I'm gonna put some peach in here, but I don't know where. Now it's too late. So if you guys have ever heard about that happening, if it's ever happened in your house or someone that you know, that bees have gotten in and made their little nests or whatever, hives in your house somewhere, would you let me know about that in the comment section? Because I was just blown away. Oh, that's so pretty. I was blown away that that is a possibility, that that can happen. We have had paper wasps, I think they're called, make really humongous, I need to quit shutting the palette. I do that all the time, and then I have to keep opening it. Make these really huge paper hive nest things in our front yard before. When I was in high school, that happened, and my mom had a company come over and spray it and kill all the bees, wasps, which is horrible because, you know, they're just living their lives. But get stung by one of those things, oh, they're horrible. And she actually was able to salvage the hive, the nest, and she took it into her 8th grade classroom, and they like kind of dissected it and looked at how intricate the hive or nest, whatever they're called, really are. They're amazing. They have like these spiral like tunnel things that go around, and these like little compartments where I don't know if they sleep in them, like little bunk beds. It's just insane. I mean, I couldn't believe how intricate that was put together. You know, it was really, really incredible that they're that, you know, industrious or whatever. So we do, you know, I had experience with that. And I remember leaving, because I was in high school, and I remember leaving for school and thinking, oh man, because it was just swarming with those wasps. And I'm thinking, oh man, if one of these things stings me, I'm going to be real pissed. But never got stung. I'm not allergic to bee stings per se. Like I don't have like an anaphylactic reaction, but my whatever gets stung just goes poof. Like I stepped on a bee when I was in high school on dance team. We were practicing at the University of Oregon because we were at a dance camp there. And I was, of course, practicing in the grass with my shoes off. And I stepped on a bee, and ooh, that got me right between my big toe and my second toe, like on the pad part of my foot. Ooh, that hurt. Now I'm gonna go into Sigil and put that towards the front, but I think this shade is gorgeous. It is kind of blowing up a little bit right here, but it's okay. I think it looks nice, so whatever. I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm using a Refer 02, yeah, that Jan got me. Okay, so let's go into Sigil now. Oh, that is so beautiful. And I love that there's like this really pretty gold stuff in the backdraft shade. And I think there's a little bit of gold in Sigil too. So this should be really nice. Oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. I was gonna use both of the green shimmers for this look, and I thought, no, let's jazz it up and pop something else kind of fun in here with this peachy gold shade. I thought that'd be kind of nice. And yeah, I'm digging it. Love both of these together. Very cool. The only like infestation of anything that we've ever had that I can remember as a kid growing up is we had a bunch of possums living under our house, like under our deck and under our house when I was in grade school. And the mama had babies, and ugh, I think possums are so gross. They're so gross. My mom thought they were so cute. So cute. I'm like, no. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of take my finger and just go like this. And we had a company come out and get the possums. And I hope they didn't put them to sleep. They probably did. I don't know. This was back in the 80s, so who knows? I'm gonna put a little bit more backdraft on with my finger. But you know, they weren't trying to hurt anybody. They were just trying to live their lives. And you know, we have built so many houses all over the place that we kind of encroach onto their little spots. You know, it's sad. Okay, I love that. Although this, of course, I have that big, huge ridge. I don't like that. So I'm going to go back into Beyond and see what I can do here. See if I can get that to look a little less ridgy, edgy, harsh. I just kind of like smush the shadow on. I'm not really doing any blending, just kind of smushing it. I'm also going to be doing a video at some point here, probably from one of my No Makeup and Chill series videos, where I talk about different definitions of makeup related things, because, not that I'm an expert, because I'm far from it. Some of it's just kind of common sense stuff, right? It's just common sense things that sometimes I will hear people say in their videos, and I'm like, actually, no, it's not exactly right. Because like, for instance, I see people like smushing their eyeshadow on like this, and they'll say, oh, I'm blending my eyeshadow. I'm like, no, that's not really blending. But, and it's, you know, no big deal. People can say what they want. But I just think sometimes it can be confusing to folks that are like maybe, you know, getting started in makeup, or I don't know. And they're like, what? It's just confusing. So I'm going to talk about that in a video. I'm going back in with Turtle Bay and just kind of blending out that brown shade again. I'm loving doing the no makeup and chill videos. That is so much fun for me. I just love it. It's just fun. Like, I don't have to stress about what am I going to do and what colors am I going to put together. Not that it's stressful necessarily. There's way more stressful things in my life. Okay. And if this was stressful, I wouldn't be doing it. But, you know, sometimes it takes me a while to figure out what I want to do. I'm going back in with honeydew. I cannot say honeydew today very well. So it's not like, you know, I'm sitting here whining that it's so stressful to do a makeup video, because it's not. It's fun. I love it. But there are just times when I just think, I'd rather not, you know, I just want to sit down and talk. That's it. So I think I'm pretty much done. I do have some fallout, but, you know, nothing major. Gonna go clean that up. I love how this looks. I think it looks really pretty. I really like it. So I'm gonna go clean this up, do the other eye, the rest of my face. I'll come back. So this is finished look number 1, and I just love how this look turned out. I was pretty sure I was going to love the shimmers, which I do, and I already knew that I loved the matte. So this was really fun, and I cannot wait to put look number 2 together. Of course, I'm going to show you all the shades that I used in this look again before moving on to look number 2, but let me show you just a few things I threw on my face for this finished look. On my lips, I used a combination of 2 things. I started off with the NYX Slip Tease and Beyond Basic. Just thought this shade would look nice with my eye look, but I wanted to kind of gloss it up a little bit. So I grabbed the Beauty Bakery Lip Whip in Jellyana, and Steph sent this to me a while ago, and I kind of forget that I have it, but I just love it. It's got a really pretty like light peach and gold sparkliness to it, and it's just a lovely gloss. It's very soft and it doesn't get goopy or sticky or anything. For my upper lid liner, I used the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Super Slim 12-hour felt tip liner in brown. I love this product. And then for my mascara, I'm still using the one that I got in some PR from Stylevana. It's Heimish brand. And I just love this mascara. It works so well. And then I did use my Essence Pure Nude highlighter in 010 Popping Champagne on my face and also in my inner corners. This is part of my panning project, the Def Leppard Let's Get Panned panning project, and I really want to use it for the full uses, and so I'm really having fun using it. I love the product. It's gorgeous. So now let's start off with the matte shades first. And I just love these. They are so pigmented and so blendable. They are perfection. All 3 mattes that I use for this look are just stunning. This one here was just perfect. I did put a little bit of that on my lower lash lines. This deepened up the outer V perfectly, and also I popped a little bit of that towards the outer part of the lower lash lines. Just stunning. And then this shade here is just wonderful. You know, I got everything that I wanted out of these mattes for this look today. Really did. And this is a very special bundle in my collection, and I want to say a huge thank you to Michelle for sending these to me. I love Mel. I always have loved her ever since I first discovered her. And so to have this bundle is really special, in the fact that Michelle sent it to me, it just means the world to me. So now let's talk about the singles from Lethal Cosmetics that I use for this look. Backdraft and Sigil. They are gorgeous. They are opaque and buttery and easy to apply, and they're just stunning. I love how sparkly they are, and also how like kind of subtle they are too. You know, there's a nice mix of like dynamicness and also like calm beauty, you know, elegance, I would say. And I just think they're wonderful. I'm so happy that I finally tried Lethal Cosmetics with the Evergreen palette, and thrilled that I picked this up, and so happy that I'm finally using it. I'm loving this. So without any further ado, let's get on to look number 2. Okay, so back for look number 2 with my little Lethal Cosmetics little shimmer palette here that I put together. And I'm thinking that for this look, I want to use this shade right here called Ethology, I don't know. And this shade here called Revolve for this look. I thought that would be really fun. And for the mattes, I kind of debated on a couple different palettes in my collection, and I just settled on the Certify the Tropical Wonders palette because this is so good. Such wonderful matte formula in here. I love these mattes. They're so much fun. And my dear friend and sister, my best friend and sister Steph, she gifted this to me, and I just love it. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use these three mattes, I'm thinking, or maybe these three. I'm not sure exactly. I do have both of my brows done, and this eyelid is primed in this. This is the Colored Rain Paint Base Eyeshadow Base in white. I've been wanting to pull this out and use it when I use more colorful shades, and I just kept forgetting, and then today I actually remembered. So that's what I have on my eyelid today. So let me figure this out. I think what I'll do, I think I'm going to go into Firefish first and put that in my transition area, and then I'll figure it out. And I think I'm going to use my Refer 16 brush for this. Yeah. I really like how like domed this brush is. It's a really nice shaped brush. I love it. Okay, let's start putting this down here in the transition area. Alrighty. Yeah, I had kind of a crazy day because it was pouring down rain when I left work. And when I got home, I thought, should I like redo my whole hair, or should I just, you know, let it dry and throw it back? So I just let it dry and throw it back. So, and we're having my grandson's birthday party tomorrow at a park. And I think I already mentioned this, but it's supposed to be pouring down rain. So my son called me last night and he goes, why exactly are we doing Wesley's birthday party at a park? I'm like, well, that's what your sister wanted to do. And she was hoping it would be sunny because last year, around his birthday when we had his party, it was like 85 degrees. We were all like standing in the wading pool playing around with him. It's hilarious. But this year, not so much. But I've already mentioned this. We have a covered area reserved, or my daughter reserved a covered area. So I think it'll be fine. I really do. I mean, I don't care. We're from Oregon. If we can't handle the rain, then we better get out of here. Because it rains here all the time. We're used to it by now, you know? At least I would hope so. I'm like, Braden, where's your rain-loving spirit, my friend? And the look that I created this morning for look number 1 lasted really well throughout the day. I was very impressed with how the shimmers lasted, you know? Because sometimes with certain shimmers, like I've mentioned a bajillion times, they kind of go boom on my eyelids. And those really didn't. They looked really nice all day. They didn't get creasy or anything. I was so impressed. So I'm really excited about this palette, this little palette I put together. I love it. I think that's good for now. I'm trying to decide. I think I do want to put a little bit of hibiscus, though, around the outer edge of that shade. Just a little bit. You know, Certify, I think, from what I've heard, is no longer in business. And I think I've already talked about this, too. God, I'm like a broken record over here. I really wish that I had gotten on board with Certify when they were still a brand, because I do remember seeing their palettes and stuff, people showing them and using them on their channels and thinking, oh, wow, that's really pretty. But I think at that time, well, I don't think I know at that time, I was still pretty nervous about colorful eyeshadows. So I don't know that I would have purchased their colorful palettes. And I honestly can't remember if they had like neutral ones. I think they did. There are a lot of brands that are not around anymore that I really miss. I really do miss. Like Coastal Scents was a brand that I just loved. And I thought that brand was so great for beginners because they had a lot of really pretty single shades that you could get for super cheap. And they were, you know, neutrals, but they also had colorful shades. I mean, I had a ton of their singles. I actually still have them in a little box I need to give to my daughter. But they were so nice. Some of them I did give to her, but I still have some to give her. And so, you know, I felt like I could get some colorful single shades for pretty cheap, you know, really cheap actually, and kind of start getting used to using color on my lids, you know, and it was just so fun. And I guess I think they went out of business around the COVID time, didn't they? Or maybe it was before COVID. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I understand that as other brands come around, you know, some brands just don't get the love that they used to. And, you know, what are they supposed to do? They have to do what's best for them, themselves financially. And, you know, obviously, I don't know. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Starling and put that in my outer V. But I would love to chat with you guys in the comment section about brands that you used to love that are no longer in business. We can chat about that. Blush Tribe is a brand that I used to just pine away for. and then they went out of business. I do have a couple of their palettes that Nikki Raven very kindly gifted to me because I used to tell her in the comment section of her videos before I had my channel that I loved her Paulina palette and the Hasina 2 palette, and she did her declutter video, and she messaged me on Instagram, and she said, you watched my collection video, didn't you? And I said, yeah, I commented. And she's like, yeah, I thought so. She's like, did you hear the part where I said I was going to declutter my Blush Tribe palettes and give them to a friend? And I said, yes, I did. And she goes, well, you're the friend. I'm like, what? I thought that was so cool. So yeah, those are very special to me. They're beautiful. I'm going to be pulling those into Throwback Thursdays for sure. They're beautiful palettes, really fun color stories. Like green and purple and pink and stuff, you know, just really fun. I think I used the Hasina 2 palette for my daughter's wedding rehearsal dinner. That was fun. Okay, I'm going to go back into Firefish just a little bit and kind of go around the edge of the purple shade. I'm going to take the edge of that down a little bit if I can. Sometimes this purple shade the edge of it gets a little too edgy for me to deal with, so we'll see. I don't know. I try to be mindful of that when I'm applying it, you know, because see how it's got that weird funky edge. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think what I'm going to do actually is clean this other little brush off that I used, I don't know, yesterday, I think. Clean it off a little bit, excuse me, and go into Firefish and just kind of go around and because I think this is a better shape brush for this part of it, for this part of the look anyway. Yeah, that's getting a little bit better. Okay, good, because I just didn't want that really harsh edge of that purple matte to be an issue for me, because I hate that. That drives me bonkers. And I kind of had a little bit of a harsh edge in my first look, like right there. And I kept going in the bathroom and just going, why did I leave it like that? So funny. I don't think anybody probably noticed it but me, but that's always how it is, you know, we're harder on ourselves than anyone else probably would ever be. I really like how that looks. That purple edge did tone down quite a bit, so that makes me happy. So now let's go into the Lethal palette, and I'm going to put this shade down here and then the yellow shade towards the front. I even thought about maybe throwing a little bit of that in, but that's a little bit too similar to a look that I did with the ABH Riviera palette, so I don't want to like really repeat looks necessarily. Although, you know, I do feel like at one point or another, obviously you're going to repeat looks because there's only so many color combinations you can really do. I mean, there's a ton, of course there's a ton, but I look every once try that again. Every so often I will look back through pictures of mine of my looks and I'll think, yeah, that looks a lot like that other look I did like a week ago, but you know, whatever. I don't think you should always have to come up with the most unique and just do your makeup, have fun, you know. This shade is absolutely gorgeous. It's very like, what's the word, aubergine? I love that. I love that. I'd like to change my name to aubergine. I think that's such a cool word, cool name for a color. I love it. Reminds me of a scene in Steel Magnolias when Clary is in the locker room of the football team. She and Shirley MacLaine, it's Olympia Dukakis, and she's talking about, they're like walking around half naked and they're talking about the aubergine color of their pants, and Shirley MacLaine's like, you're talking about their pants? This is a football team, and she's checking out the guy's buns. It's so funny. I love that movie. So good. Or here's another question for you. I'm going to go back in with this shade or this brush and go back into Starling, the purple matte. What is a brand that you love, that you just think is amazing, that you never hear anyone talk about on YouTube? I'd be curious to see if there's something like that, that you know, just love this brand and you're like, why don't they ever talk about it on YouTube? Because I don't ever see anybody using it. The one brand that I will say that I really love, I mean, I don't use a ton of their palettes anymore, but I still always will love them, is You Can Be. And actually, I was going to pull a You Can Be palette in for the mattes for this video, but it didn't have the exact tones I was looking for, you know, so I just went with this one. But I love You Can Be, and I just don't feel like anybody talks about You Can Be at all. It's weird. They have great palettes, and they're super cheap. They sell them on Amazon. They have their own website. You know, they do. And I don't know. I mean, I can't sit here and whine about it because I don't really use them at all either on my channel. But I just remember when I first discovered You Can Be, you know, it was before I had my channel, and I'm like, why doesn't anybody ever talk about their palettes? Because I really liked them. You know, I still do. I have decluttered a couple of them just because my collection is just humongous. I like that. I think it's really pretty. So now I'm going to go into this shade right here, Ethology, and put it on the front part of my lid. There's another brand. Was it called Persona? Is that right? They had like 2 or 3 palettes that I can remember was huge when I first started watching YouTube. Oh God, that's so pretty. Oh, that's fun. Yes, I love that with the pink and the purple. That's fun. Yes. But I remember that brand being super huge when I first got into watching YouTube videos. Isn't it Persona? Or Personnel? There's no way it's called Personnel. There's not a makeup brand called Personnel. I think it's Persona. Or was it the Persona palette? I don't know. Those of you that are way more experienced with makeup and that are like true OG makeup aficionados, will you remind me of what the heck that makeup brand is? I'm pretty sure it's called Persona. I know I've said it like 12 times. I'll stop saying it. This is so cool because it's yellow, but it's got like a really pretty like green shift to it. Like a, I don't know, almost like an electric green. So this kind of threw me for a loop here. I knew it had some different reflex in it because I could see that in the palette or in the pan or whatever. But I didn't realize it was going to be. Now I'm thinking maybe this would have looked better if I would have done green and purple rather than pink and purple, but whatever. Okay, I'm going to go with my pinky and just kind of smash this right here. And I am getting quite a bit of fallout, but I could care less. I have not done my face makeup, so it does not matter one iota. I really do not understand how I ever used to do that. I'm going to go in now with Revolve with my pinky. Do my face makeup first and then do my eye look. I don't know how I did that because now I really can't do that anymore. And if I had to, I'd be totally stressed the whole time because I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to get fallout all over my face. And I do see that sometimes. And I just want to say, why didn't you just do your face makeup last? But, you know, we all do things differently and it's none of my damn business, okay? Has nothing to do with me. People can do what they want. Okay, I'm going to go back into Starling just a little bit. And I think I am going to try a fun eyeliner color with this, like maybe pink. That might be kind of fun. Just really kind of jazz this up a little bit. I mean, I feel like it's pretty jazzy already, but I'm going to jazz it up with the eyeliner just a little bit more too, if I can. Sometimes I don't love how that looks. Like I've done it before and then I just ended up covering it with the black. I was like, I don't like that. You know, if the tone of the eyeliner is too off from the eye look itself, to me, that doesn't look right. It looks very disjointed and strange. So, I mean, you know, no, if people want to do that, more power to them. It's just, I personally am like, no, I don't like it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into Firefish one more time and just blend that out again. Just gently, gentle blending. Gosh, my speech lately in my videos has been an absolute joke. I really like this. It's very different. Actually, you know what I think I am going to do? I think I am going to pop a little bit of the pink. I just think that would look better right there than just leaving it with the yellow and the purple. I think a little bit of pink would help kind of mush those together. Oh yeah. Just kind of, I don't know. I just think that would look nicer to have a little bit of that pink. Kind of make the transition from the yellow to the purple a little less stark, or I don't know, maybe not, but I'm gonna keep trying it here. Just add it with my finger. And the pink shade is called Mainframe, by the way. And it's really a pretty pink. I like it. It's kind of a purpley pink, of course, but really nice. I like it a lot. It's a little muddy looking, but I do think it looks really pretty. I like it a lot. It's very different. I don't think I've ever done, this does not look like the look that I did with the Riviera palette. It does not. I'm going to go back in with the Ethology shade a little bit too, because this yellow is got more of that like kind of greenish reflect, and the yellow shimmer I used in the ABH palette does not have that. I really like it. It's very different, but I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to go off camera, clean this up, add the finishing touches, do my other eye. I think I'm just going to leave my hair like this and I'll come back. So this is finished look number 2 and the final look for this video. And I am madly in love with how this look turned out. I wasn't too sure with the purple matte that I used. I felt like I was having a tough time getting it to blend out, but ultimately, I love how this look came together. And I think out of both looks, I do like this one the best. I just like the boldness, brightness of it in comparison to my first look. But I do really like the first look too. So I'm going to show you guys a little palette, the little Lethal palette with the beautiful shimmers that I used for both looks today. But let me show you just a couple things I threw on my face, or a few things, not a couple things, a few things I threw on my face for this finished look. And there is a cat hair flying around. For my mascara, I'm still using the Hamish maybe mascara that I got in some PR from Stylevana. I'm loving this. For my upper lid liner, I did go for a pot gel liner from Beauty Creations, and this is in the shade Let's Go Party. This really fun hot pink. Now I thought about using lavender or yellow or even a minty green, but I don't know. This one just really, I thought this one would look the best, and I just love how this looks. It's so fun when I, step out of my comfort zone a little bit and play with some really fun liner colors. I love how this turned out. And these are awesome. I will say you do have to squeeze the lid down really tight, and the best thing to do is store these in a Ziploc baggie. And then on my lips, I used an LA Girl Metal Liquid Lipstick in the shade Flashy. I finally found the shade name on this baby. My dear friend Julia sent this to me, and I just love it. It feels really nice on the lips. I like the metallic finish to it, and I think it's a beautiful aubergine color. I'm still considering changing my name to aubergine. And also for my inner corners and a little bit under both brows, I grabbed the Luminizer 1 highlighter palette that looks like it's been through the highlighter war. I've had this forever. And I use this shade here called Fairy Lights. It looks white, but it's got a really subtle light pink prettiness to it. I love it. I was going to put this on my face, but I decided to go ahead finally and use this today. This is the Natasha Denona Cupid Cheek Duo that I have in my Def Leppard panning project that I kind of forgot was in my panning project. So this is my first use with this so far. But I just felt like this had enough sheen to it that I didn't really need to add a highlighter to my face. And oh, I love this blush. It's so beautiful. Okay, so now let's talk about the shadows I used from Lethal Cosmetics for these looks today. I'm telling you, they are absolutely stunning. Such a beautiful, opaque, buttery, delicious, dynamic, shifty formulation of all the shades that I used for both of these looks. I am really happy that I threw this shade Mainframe in the middle. I think that just looked nicer. The only shade I didn't use, of course, was Nebula. I will definitely use that, of course. I was just trying to steer clear of like an all green look because I've been doing a lot of green looks lately. I just kind of wanted to jazz it up, do something a little different in these looks. But I am just thrilled that I picked up this palette, that I put this together, and thrilled that I finally used it. It's been sitting in my collection for what? 5 months, almost 5 months. That is, there's no excuse for that. So this is going to stay on my desk here, and I want to just continue to play with it. I might do another 2 looks or 3 looks video with that palette and maybe some other palettes. Let me know what you think about my looks. Which one is your favorite, look number 1 or look number 2? Let me know if you have any of these single shades from Lethal. If you have any other shades or palettes from Lethal, let's have a lethal love fest in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.